I think we met in the first grade, but I didn't know where she lived.
Who was your teacher?
Mrs. Scott. She ruled with an iron hand.
She
You
did.
didn't like her?
Oh yeah, she would.
There was no kindergarten. It was just
First
right in
grade.
first grade, and she was. Yeah, she was something else.
She.
But she taught a lot of grades, a lot of kids.
Was it the same school that we went to, where
Yes.
the church is right
Yeah.
now? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right inside the front door to the left.
She could print like she was an artist. Perfect letters. Everybody tried to do the same thing, couldn't do it.
So you guys knew each other all through school then?
Well, we never lived more than how many miles apart?
First,
You lived
we were in
here
first
quite a
grade. You were
Out.
2.5 miles from home, northwest of Morris, and I was right here.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then she moved over there about.
When I was 11 or 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And that's,
So did you like poke her and like hit her to
No.
like that you liked her? Or?
we didn't date until we were juniors in high school.
Okay. What was your first date?
I think we went to an Elvis Presley movie. Wasn't it?
I don't
good thing
remember
he
all
does.
this. Yeah,
I
he's
think-
got a memory that doesn't quit.
I think we went to an Elvis Presley movie in Lamar's.
We did a lot of roller skating.
Yeah, maybe that's what our first date was. Every class was a moneymaker, was put on a skating party. Freshman class did it, sophomore class did it, and everybody went to all the skating parties in Orange City. I had a 49 Plymouth. I got that when I was a sophomore.
So you remember that?
You remember that?
I said I bet. I thought you'd remember that.
Yeah.
What color was it?
Black one. It was a hand-me-down from Wanda.
I was gonna ask, did you buy it yourself?
No, it stayed in the family when she got married, and to Elmer. Then the old Plymouth stayed here, and that was mine.
Okay.
So
What was my first car?
49 Ford,
So that
two
blue
door,
one, wasn't it?
blue. Yeah,
You had your own car?
she drove to.
I had to go to work. The Capitol office.
Oh, okay. So not when you were in school,
No,
you didn't have a
no,
car?
no, no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but you rode the bus to school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But we walked uphill in the snow both ways.
Oh, okay, okay.
Although we did,
no, but you didn't always ride the bus. You
No, we'd-
sometimes walked home.
at the middle of the year, the bus would change routes, and then we would be the last ones off.
Oh, yeah.
So then Ruth and Denny Van Omeren and Dave and Herm and I, we just walked. And they lived across the road from the station there. And we just keep walking on home. And we'd be home long before the bus would come by.
Yeah.
That would take him over a half hour. So,
And what was the order? Herm, you, and Dave, like how far apart?
well, Herm is 10.5 months younger than I am, and Dave is 4 years younger.
Marley's the oldest. and
Marley was-
Marty
Yeah,
was after Marley. But
Mhm.
Marvin
Marvin was the oldest, and I don't remember him at all. I think he died in 1938,
Okay.
and I was born in 41.
Oh, okay.
And Wanda hardly remembers him.
Mm.
He was just like 2 maybe
Mm.
when he died.
Rod
He was
and Bill
5.
were like twins. They were so close together. So it was always the boys and Dave.
Yeah,
That's what
that's what
Grandma.
Grandma Dick always said, the boys and Dave.
Boys and Dave.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Really?
And the best part was Marley and Wanda called me Sonny because I was so bright. Is that true, dear?
Oh, you keep telling that story.
I've never heard that story.
You never
All
heard
the
that?
time.
You ask Wanda sometime.
Darlene, you were the oldest, and who was next?
Joe. Jerry. Joe. He's 2 years younger than I am. Then
Karen.
Karen, and then Bruce, and then Jim, and then Mark.
I didn't date anybody.
Baloney.
Well, I don't remember who.
Oofy Bank.
Oofy Bank.
Oofy.
I don't think I ever,
Yes, you did too. Yes, I do.
Okay, wait, I thought you dated Carol.
Yeah.
Foreman.
Yes.
had one date with her.
Oh,
That
I
was
probably
it.
had one date with Merlin.
Oh.
You did? I didn't know that.
Oh. And I think I had one date with Bernie Dieger,
Oh,
and that was enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Thank goodness.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, Murder Dieger.
Good choice.
I would have to, with sows, Dad always had some sows, and we milked a few cows. We milked a dozen cows, and then the skim milk was used for, we made like a slop for the hogs. We put oats, ground oats and shell corn in a 55-gallon wooden barrel, and then the flies would crawl all over it in the summertime when it was mild weather. But we'd dip it out of there with a bucket, and then it would run just like milk into a trough, and that's what the sows got. And it helped. I scooped silage out of the silo for the cows and the cattle, and cleaned the chicken coops out at Christmas vacation. That was a fun, smelly deal.
My job was in the chicken coop too. I gathered the eggs.
I remember that.
And those chickens would like to peck at me, so I'd take a stick along, and they'd hold their head down and reach underneath them and get the eggs out.
Oh.
Yes. And then everybody, all my siblings will tell you that I took the eggs, some of the eggs, and I threw them against the. You heard that
I
story?
heard that story.
Yeah. I don't think it's true.
Really?
I never did such a thing.
Where'd you throw 'em?
Against the building.
Just because you were
Were you
mad.
I don't know why I did it. I don't even remember doing it. So I'm not sure it's true.
Do you have chores
And-
in the house?
Yeah. Well, then I had to go in the house and clean those eggs. We did have a bucket of water and a rag, and we'd have to clean the eggs before they went to be sold.
Oh, you would sell eggs?
Yeah.
Oh.
And we ate a lot of them too.
Yeah.
But I was the oldest one, so I worked the hardest.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Mom.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I remember Mom was a good cook, and
What was mine?
the best dinners was always Sunday
Yeah.
chicken dinner, and she'd brown the chicken in a pan before she'd go to church, and then put it in a big old cooker, and I don't know, on low, I guess, and anyway, after church. Then when we were married, and Dave and Lana were married, and Herb and Mary Lynn, we would always go there for dinner on Sunday after church. And then one Sunday we had a guest minister. It was like a
Missionary or something.
mission Sunday, and then we had Cal Hayes. He led some mission group. Anyway, he and his dad.
From Kentucky, weren't they?
And his dad was a minister in a little church in Kentucky, and they came and they put on the service and they had sessions afterwards. And they came. Mom invited them for dinner too, and we always had homemade bread. And then we'd put chicken gravy on there, and then peas on top of that. And we started passing the bread around, and then the gravy. And then Cal looked at me and he says, "Maybe you should show me how you do this." So yeah, we did, and put the gravy on the bread. Well, I've never done anything like this, but being born and raised in Kentucky was strange for him.
So good.
He does. Oh, it was. And the chicken was always good. What was yours?
I think probably it was when I was older though, but it was watching them work together, cleaning chickens forever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
They did that early in the morning and went out to eat and ordered chicken to eat.
Go to Lolly's and have roasted chicken
Yeah.
every Saturday night.
Did they do that like when you were growing up too? Like, or when did they start?
Well,
that
Dad was a
business?
butcher.
Yeah.
for a long time, along with a little bit of farming he did, but then I don't know that they did chickens. Like, he never had that chicken picking machine until they were up here on the hill. Somebody stole his sign off of his pickup. He had a
A little magnetic sign.
magnetic sign that said cotton picking, chicken picking,
Smoke.
smoke is cotton picking, chicken picking machine.
Somebody stole
Somebody stole it. Well, either that or it fell off and he lost it. I really don't know.
It was just a magnetic sign that would
Yeah.
just stick against this, the
Yeah,
door of the pickup.
yeah.
I wanted to be a secretary.
Oh,
Really never was one, but
yeah. And you did, you were
Not
one,
really.
right? No? At the Capitol? What did you do at the Capitol?
I typed news articles on a typewriter.
Yeah.
What was that called again? It wasn't called a typewriter either, but it was what it was. Something machine.
Typeset, yeah.
No, it wasn't that. I'll think about it in the middle of the night.
Big Lauren up and tell.
Yeah.
What did you want to be?
I don't know. Never thought about it, but I guess I wanted to farm because I didn't study real hard at college.
You went to college for a whole different reason than farming.
Chase girls? No.
Well, you studied
Yeah, I
English.
did English and theater and history and math but that was it.
Guess you need all that to farm.
Then yeah,
Just that, that's it.
Were you gonna be an English teacher?
yeah. English teacher and theater. Took a lot of classes under Mrs. England.
Wow.
Yep. She was a mainstay there at the college then. She's been there for years and years.
Now tell me, can you really ever see him teaching?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
He has the
know.
stories to tell.
Yeah,
Just to be inside all the time? He's an outdoor person.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
I could see him working with kids, young people, but yeah.
Well, we were in band and chorus and played basketball, baseball.
Cheerleader
Cheerleader.
for 6 years, 4 years in high school and 2 years in junior high. That was a good activity.
Could you do like cartwheels and like,
Oh yeah, back bends and splits.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me to do them.
the jumps and all that?
Yeah,
Was it the Morris, was it the Dutch?
monarchs.
Morris Monarchs, that's right.
People thought that was a butterfly, but it's not Morris monarchs. It's a lion or a.
It's a type of
Like royalty, right?
It's like a lion, but it's a wild animal. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And there's someplace, I thought I had one in the shed there that I've been cleaning out. There was a sign that you'd put on a license plate that had a picture of that, the Morris Monarchs, but I haven't run across it yet. So
Yeah.
maybe ended up somewhere else. Oh, I really like band,
Would you play?
trumpet. I got one downstairs.
Yeah.
I got to get that out.
I played.
Actually, I was asked to play the taps at Lee Blendell's funeral. I,
He
s-
hasn't died yet.
I said to
I was
him,
just gonna say, wait a minute, what happened?
I said to him, "Are you planning something?"
Oh, he asked you that?
Yeah, he asked me.
Oh my goodness.
He's 10 years younger than I am, so might not happen.
I didn't play the trumpet, I played the cornet. Same thing, only
I
different.
started out with a cornet, my first horn, and then I think maybe when I was a sophomore, then traded that in for a trumpet.
And is Harold McGilvra the
Forever.
Yeah.
band director?
He,
And you still liked band with him?
Oh, and what did he call us once in a while?
imbecile.
Imbecile.
Yeah.
No, like, wasn't there
Wasn't
another
it?
word
I'm sure he
for
called
it?
us that too.
You were asinine. You were asinine.
Asinine. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He would get so mad he'd just get red in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody in high school was involved in band or chorus, and then he'd picked out small groups of ladies trios and men's quartets and double quartets and he drilled us well.
Yeah. So is that how you started singing with
Yeah,
Herm and Dave and Teddy
and Leland. Yeah.
and Leland?
I think Lee was in the 8th grade when he was in our quartet.
Okay. And what grade were you?
I was sophomore then, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then Ted was same class and Herm was a year behind.
And did you competed? And
Yeah.
did you go to some like state of Iowa competition?
We went to, well, it started out, Mrs. Moyer, who was Susie, your classmate, friend of hers through the 8th grade. Anyway, she was big in the Farm Bureau, and they always had a contest to see, we'd go to the Bill Riley show in Des Moines. And I think, but before this, we sang for Mercedes Moyer, and we went to different women's Farm Bureau meetings and sang. And then we ended up going down and we sang at the state Farm Bureau women's meeting.
Oh.
And then from there, she said, well, you guys got to try out for the Bill Riley contest. So we did, and then we went to Primgar to sing there, and guess who was one of the judges was? Harold McGilvra.
Oh.
We were sewed in right there.
Yeah.
That
You
was,
didn't know?
that was to go to the Iowa State Fair.
That was to go to the state fair then, yeah.
But then tell about the story about the accompaniment.
Yeah, then we got down to the Des Moines and we were going to sing Dry Bones, and they said, you can't sing that without a piano. Well, we have an accompanist here. She'll play for you. So this gal, she gets the music out, and she's like a Janine.
Yeah.
She can play anything, and she played it for us, and we sang, and we won the first round. Went back for the second round, and I think then we got beat out in the second round. But Gary Zutenhorst's wife, Laura, she was also in the same competition we were in Primgar, and she did a dance like in the 30s with the old beads and the dresses, you know, and she was dancing and swinging the beads around. And, but anyway, this gal that played the piano for us, we had a quartet that came to Morris once in our church and sang there from Des Moines. And here, after that quartet was done, I thought, I know that piano player. And I talked to her afterward, and sure enough, she played for a quartet in Des Moines. And her dad was in a quartet, and that's how she knew how to play for a quartet. It's a different, because Laura has the time to play for a men's quartet. It's different.
Yeah.
Uses different octaves on the piano and stuff, and so yeah, that was quite strange that we ended up having her for our piano player down there. But we had to do this before. You had to be 21 or under, and I was the oldest. And then in March I would have been too old the next year to go down there. So.
So how did Dad propose? Did he ask Grandpa for his permission? How'd that go?
No, I don't think so. And he had all those knives in the house. Maybe that's why I didn't ask him.
Maybe.
I don't even remember how you proposed.
I don't either.
Really?
Really romantic.
Did you just know? Did you just know that this is who?
I kind of remember standing by the dining room table in the house over here. That's when I got my ring, but I don't know. It was,
Did you pick it out?
no.
You picked it
I
out,
didn't pick
right?
it out, did I?
I think we both went to Sioux City, didn't we?
Maybe we did.
I think we did. Joey saw down there.
You were 19? 20?
20. We got married when we were 20. I was. Yeah,
Probably
we
were 19.
I don't know how long we were engaged.
Well, we got engaged Christmas time and then got married in June. So probably 6 months.
Oh, okay.
It
It
was.
was hot.
Yeah.
No air conditioning. I remember walking down the aisle alone because my dress was too wide and my dad couldn't walk beside me, so he just stood up at the front of church. I think that happened more because those aisles weren't very
No,
wide.
they weren't there.
No.
Then we went after the wedding, we went to Sioux City. We had brought our car and our suitcases.
Her two favorite cousins, Wes the cook and Bob Brink, they like to decorate cars, honeymooners' cars. We weren't gonna let that happen, so
We brought the car there.
we brought the car down there, and then whether Wes and Phil drove us down to Sioux City, and we had it parked in a garage, in a ramp garage. Anyway, this goes back. A friend of my folks, their son lived in Sioux City, and we took our suitcases to their house. Tony Banster was his name, and so we went to their house. Wes and Phil pulled up by the house and went inside and grabbed the suitcases, and Wes grabbed them and he said, "Boy, you people are really traveling light." And we didn't think anything of it, so we get in the motel room, and before Wes and Phil left, we opened up the suitcase. There was a pair of shoes in mine and a pair of shoes in hers, and that was it.
That's it.
And Tony had taken everything out at his place.
And you found this out in the hotel.
Yeah. Then before Wes and Phil left, so we go back to Tony's place, and they had fallen asleep. And we knocked and knocked and knocked on the door, and finally there they came, and of course laughing their heads off.
So what did they do?
Gave us our clothes.
They took all our clothes out of the suitcase.
But I know, but they gave them back.
Yeah, then they put all the clothes back in the suitcase.
Okay.
Mm.
And then you went to the Black Hills?
Yep.
Yeah, to the
And
Black
we haven't
Hills.
been there since.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame.
So beautiful.
We do that this summer.
But that's the first time you had been there.
Yeah,
The only time you've
Yeah.
been there was then.
we've
Were the
been
presidents there then?
barely. I think the ladders are still up there in front of their faces.
Our first home without running water and a bathroom and outhouse behind the behind the garage, and I don't know how many feet from the highway, and the dishes rattled in the cupboard when the trucks went by. Yeah, it was. We had such good times there, though. I mean, we made pizza after with Ted and Leland and
Herm and whoever he was dating, and there'd be about eight or 10 people come. We'd have pizza from scratch, and that was good.
10 people in that little house.
Oh, I sit on the floor, and yeah, we did that before we were married when we were in RCYF, and then we'd go to somebody's house after a meeting, and we'd make pizza, and that's what we did after those meetings on Sunday nights. And but then I was working for Bud Hawkins on the farm that summer, and you were at the Capitol office. And being there was no running water, she'd pick me up at 6 o'clock, and we stop at home, my place, and I'd take a shower, and she would have a bath at her folks' place, and then, yeah, if you wanted any water, there was a hydrant in the porch in that house, and that's where get your water to do the dishes and wash your
eat it
face.
on the stove. Yeah, yeah.
The rent on the house was $10 a month. But we didn't have anything, but we had to pay for the electricity, which
We weren't
is a
there.
big deal, no.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was pretty reasonable. And,
Yeah.
and you could,
I don't remember like groceries or ever not being able to buy what we needed.
No. I was working for $1 an hour and worked 10 hours a day.
I don't know what I got at the Capitol office. I don't remember.
Wow. Was it more than that or less?
Oh,
Do you
that's probably about the same.
I would s-
$1 and a nickel, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, gas is cheaper than it is now. And so,
Oh, it was probably 8-10 cents. Well, when I had the feed grinder, the regular gas was 9 cents. No, that was 11 cents a gallon, and propane was 9 cents a gallon. And that's what after I bought that feed grinder, that's what I paid for the gas and the propane.
So you talked once about, you were telling us about, like it was a pretty big deal when you bought that grinder.
Yeah. Yeah, Well, I went to Herb and John, Herb Zutenhorst and John Noble wanted to sell it. And Herb says, I'll go along with you to Verge Round Horse at the bank. And so he went along with me, and he took the books along, and Verge looked at the books, and he said, that's making money. He says, that'll work. I said, do you want my dad to sign? He said, no, you don't have to sign. This is going to work. And so I borrowed $12,000 to buy the grinder and sign my name. And then the first thing I had to do was put $500 worth of tires on it. So another $500 I had to borrow at the bank. And then Lori was due. This was January, and she was due in May. And one of my customers had a little house for sale out in the country. He was when it moved. By Ireton, Lawrence to Horse. And he wanted $2,500 for that house, so I borrowed another $2,500, bought the house, bought the whole lot where I lived for $300, and had the basement dug, and we moved in about the last week of April, and she was born the 5th of May.
I didn't know that the timing was that close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for all those months I was pregnant and had to go
Yeah.
behind the
In
garage
an
to the bathroom.
outhouse. Oh my gosh.
And then
And that was the house in town.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then after that, we traded cars because the Corvair was too small to have a little seat in the back, and we didn't need a seat.
No,
So then I traded cars with Wally Van Ruckel and Dior Coase and myself. We had a 3-way trade going. Wally wanted the Corvair, Cozy wanted Wally's 55 Chevy, and I wanted Cozy's 65 Buick Wildcat. And so I ended up borrowing some more money. And I was making payments to the bank then, $675 a month, and we had money left over.
Wow.
'Cause they had
Man.
worked hard though.
Yeah. For sure.
When I sold the grinder, I weighed a whole 175 pounds.
Wow.
That's the lightest I've ever been since I was a freshman in high school, I think.
it was hard work.
It was. Then in the summertime, you'd go by a guy and grind, and you go to the water hydrant and get a drink of water there, and then you go to the next place and get another drink of water, and get home at noon, and nothing sounded good. So I said, "You have any watermelon?" So I had watermelon for dinner, and then go back out and grind again till 6 o'clock, and then after that, I get home and quick change my clothes and go play softball. You remember those days? But I did that before you were old enough to remember, and
But even when I could remember, I
Yeah.
remember you playing softball.
Yeah.
Fast pitch.
fast pitch softball.
Yeah.
We went to California and with a baby mattress in the back seat, and
You lay
right
up to the
you know, you guys could sit there and play, or you could sleep there and not tied in.
You
Nothing.
survived.
No
And you
secret.
survived.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's California.
Yeah.
So did you work outside the home when Lori and Chris were little?
You babysat in home for
Yeah,
Brian
Brian and Sherry Decker, I babysat a little bit, but no, I didn't work outside the home. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How many years did you have the grinder?
3 years. It's just short of 3 years. And then I sold it to Paul. And then I went on the move. We moved here right after we got back from California, because that winter, after I'd sold the grinder, I helped Dad harvest. Because I sold that thing to Paul in September, October. I helped Dad pick corn, combine beans. And then we did some work in the house, and then we went to California, and then we came back. We moved into the house. We went in January to California. That's when the city of Escondido was 13,000 people. 13,000. Joe could tell us how to drive right to his door. Now you can't. Sunday noons we'd have dinner with my parents, and Sunday nights at her parents. So we got fed well. Yeah. Well, yeah, and then, well, her dad was a big sports guy, and I don't think he ever missed a softball game, and my folks didn't really go to any softball games that I remember, but when we were in high school, they went to basketball games when I was playing. They would go watch basketball games, but then they charge a quarter to go into the game. Whole deal.
So, okay, when you had us, you were self-employed, so you had no insurance.
Mm-mm. No. No, and all the doctor calls and the hospital bill for 6 days, delivering the baby, that charge was $112, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my book.
The whole thing. Now you can't even step in the door for $112. I'm thinking I was in the grinder, and I was going down the road, and that was the day after she was born, and I'm thinking, my gosh, now I better watch what I'm doing here, because I got a little one I got to take care of, you know.
Yeah.
And
It's not about you anymore.
no, not about me, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that was the thing that stuck in my mind. I was going to call Jaime sometime and tell him that. I got to remember, you got another mouth to feed.
I got to stay home. And or the worst thing, I can't think of anything worse.
Oh, waiting up the night, waiting for them to get home.
Oh yeah, when we have to call the friends and find out where they were, and they had no idea it was that time. Sitting in the car, and the clock was right in front of them.
I know. The car was turned off.
Oh.
The clock wasn't on.
Okay. Yeah.
But I checked the ditch out all the way to Orange City
And I stood up and looked out the window the whole time you were gone.
Is this for Lori or Chris?
for Lori.
You have to bring that up. It's all about her.
Well,
It was God.
I was just gonna say we prayed a lot.
Really,
We didn't have
I-
any problems with.
I raised him with an iron hand, I'll tell you that. Then.
You did?
Oh yeah, Lori wanted to go to that graduation party. I said, "You're not going."
That's what he said. Yep.
whose graduation was that?
Hers.
Oh, the party after, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
After party
A
thing. And,
big class party deal.
yeah,
Yeah, I was not allowed.
no.
That's how I turned out like I did.
Wow.
That's why you guys can't do nothing either. See?
But I don't remember
No.
rules. I don't remember.
Did,
I don't remember like having like
A
my
curfew
friends
or-
would say, yeah, do you have curfews or did you get, did you you were grounded for stuff? I don't remember any of that. I don't
I think because you were studying.
Mhm.
just saying I was a good kid, but I don't remember like you saying this is the rule, like
Be
no,
home by.
I mean maybe you said that if we were gonna go somewhere on a Friday or Saturday night, but I didn't do much. We didn't do
No, I don't think we had curfews and.
Well, I think you gals, all of the girls, Jana didn't have everybody in her own class, but you girls had good friends. Good friends were good kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helps.
That does help.
Did they fight a lot?
These two?
Yeah. And Jana.
Not that I recall.
I don't either. Are you gonna tell a story?
We
Go
fought.
ahead.
Yeah, we fought.
What are you specifically
They open it
remembering?
up with
We had, well, we shared a room,
Oh,
and so we were, it was always like, get off my side, that kind of
Oh.
stuff. Like, leave me alone.
I do remember because we shared a bed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how that happened that we didn't share that bed anymore?
No,
Oh, okay.
how'd that happen?
I'd like to know.
How'd that happen?
So your mom would like kick me in the back, like kick
Dad?
in the in the middle of the night. She'd be like, and I'd be like,
On purpose? Did I do that on purpose?
I don't know. I thought so, apparently, because I just had it. I had enough. And so I just reached over in the middle of the night, and I had fingernails, and I went like,
I remember that. I do remember
and
that.
I took, and then I had skin underneath my fingernails, and I just was like, and I went back to sleep. And I went back to sleep, and it drew blood, and you were like, you probably still have a scar on your back.
Wow.
My friends had no idea, like, it was such a foreign concept to them that we would have a hot breakfast every morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah.
That we would have a hot breakfast every weekday morning, and on
Then-
weekends,
then we
that's
got
when we
cereal.
got the cereal.
Oh,
Because it was always the other way around.
We would have French toast or
Yeah.
pancakes or bacon and eggs
Yeah.
every day.
Right.
And they are already well settled, good jobs, and happy and healthy, and we're proud of every one of them. They're all good kids, and we brag about them a lot.
yeah, we do.
And I think about all the stuff that we followed you guys when you were playing AAU ball and baseball, and the girls when they were in high school, and especially Lauren and Emily. I don't think we missed a game while they were in high school. And I don't know if we did as much with you girls as we did with our grandkids. You know,
We did. I think we did.
I can see you standing on the basketball court in Sheldon High School next to Carrie Brink. You look like sisters standing there on the floor, and your cousins once removed.
I really remember that.
Do you?
Barely.
It's a good thing we didn't pick out our son-in-laws because they did a better job. Right, Steve?
I'm not sure where you were going with that. Good answer.
Right.
Well, I think back when we were growing up, what our folks had, and we thought they were doing really good, and I never knew a day where we had less food on the table because it was a bad year or whatever, and then what they had, how hard they worked. Today everything is driving a tractor, push a button, and in those days it was pitchforks and milking by hand and picking the ear corn by hand. I remember Dad doing that, and your dad doing that.
You wouldn't be
And-
farming today if it was that way.
No.
You couldn't do it.
Well, corn would be a lot more than $3, $4 a bushel if it was that way. That
It
hand.
had to be this house, don't you think? Like building this new house?
Yeah, that was
What year was that?
in '97. We moved in, yeah. Yeah,
Doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but it is.
yeah.
Because I never thought I'd ever live in a new home. I still walk in through this house sometime and think, I just can't believe that I ever could live in a house like this.
Yeah.
And you hear the wind blowing outside and we're still warm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yesterday.
Right.
Mm.
Still
Yeah.
seems like a new house to me.
Yeah.
In
I
our
can't
old
believe-
house, even in the house that was right here,
Yeah.
and we'd have wind like yesterday, the curtains would blow.
Oh, yeah.
It just was so terribly
We
badly.
used to put that blanket up between
Yeah.
the front room
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
That
because there would be a
arch,
breeze.
yeah.
keep the
Right.
cool air out of there.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I guess we had a good start, with the parents that made us work. And I know before I went to school, before I was in the first grade, I was driving a little tractor hauling manure out to the field, and Dad was cleaning the cattle yards out with a old mechanical manure loader, and I had a little C. Alice that I would take the spreader out to the field and unload it and come back in and unhook it and hook it on the next one, and Dad load it and bring it out to the field and load it while he was loading this one,
Did you take
And-
a shower before you went to school?
And I wasn't even in school yet.
Oh.
I was 5 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
If Grandma would have seen how I stepped from the hitch on that thing and reached back and pulled them levers back so it shut it off, that she wouldn't have been real happy, but never fell under it, so. Battery dead yet, Lauren?
No.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I like the wide open spaces. I don't know if I could live in a condo.
I like the fact that there's not anybody living right next to me in in town. We lived in town for a while, but not after we had
No,
kids.
it's a good life. It's got its ups and downs, and then good people to work with. Larry's a good guy to work with, and we agree on a lot of things and don't disagree too on very many things. I don't think.
Doesn't work very often with people to work that closely together that knew each other
Yeah.
so well. Same grade in school and everything. Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah.
How many years is it?
Well, I don't know, going on 40,
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
something like that. This is my 53rd crop that I took in this fall. So, and Larry's is more than that yet because he started right out of high school. His dad passed away. So he was farming before I started farming.
Yeah.
But Sunday or Saturday casserole is number one.
That's number one? Oh, I thought you would said something else. I thought you would send your favorite hamburgers.
Oh yeah, that's number two.
So what are your favorite, what is that?
Favorite hamburger is when, what do you put in there, an egg? And
Cracker. It's like
Cracker.
meatloaf, only I just fry
Yeah,
patties.
Oh,
You
burger
know,
form.
Yeah,
Okay.
chips of onion.
yeah, there's onion in there.
Yeah.
Onion, crackers, and egg. And
Yeah. And what's the third one? Pork chops in the pan. Breaded pork chops.
Oh, yum.
They're good. Oh yeah. Well, we made a lot of trips to California when Jim and Sharon and Barb and Bruce and Joe were all living there. And we go about every summer, every other summer. When you girls were in high school yet, make
Always drive out there.
I think my favorite one is probably more recent. It's the one that we were all in Alexandria. Where was that?
Alexandria.
That was
Yeah.
fun. It was really fun.
That was
Not the
fun.
trip to Mexico?
Yeah, that was a good one too. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking that far back. Yeah.
No, that wasn't either.
That was an adventure for you, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was. There's so many places that we would not have gone if it wouldn't have been for you and wherever you guys ended up, that's where we'd end up going for a visit.
yeah.
Mine, I think, is Amazing Grace, is one of them. And,
Oh boy. I like What a Friend We Have in Jesus and The Old Rugged Cross. Our two favorites, I think.
I think the one that we sang at a couple of funerals, Victory in Jesus, that was
That was a good one.
our quartet sang that a couple times. I know. The planes flying into the Twin Towers.
So
Makes
where
my
were
blood curdle yet.
you? Where were you?
Larry and I were at the John Deere dealer in Ireton. We were getting some parts for something, probably the combine. This happened in August, didn't it? September 11, yeah. And we were standing in there and they had a TV on out in the corner. And one of them guys said, "Hey, look at that. Look at that." And about that time, there's 8 or 10 guys standing there. What the world is going on here, you know? And never forget that one.
Somebody died when I was working at the Capitol.
JFK?
JFK, yeah. And pictures of somewhere in this house of standing around with people at listening to the radio and listening to the report of the.
Hmm.
Are we done yet?
Last one.
It's okay, dear. It's okay. I don't. I don't think about this, but it's.
It goes both ways. It's an admire, but
You wanna
it's
hear me
also
first, then?
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, how she's, one of the things, she keeps house and everything is so much in order and clean and does a lot of work in the kitchen and keeps everything going. And I don't know what I would do if she wasn't here, I don't go in the grocery store, I wouldn't know where to start. And so she does a lot of stuff that I don't even.
Well, you vacuum.
Now I vacuum. I can do that. That's about it.
We did it this morning,
I did that yesterday.
yesterday morning.
I think. Are you done?
Yeah.
Yes, plenty. How he can talk to a post. You can, and you don't even have to know him. He can walk up to somebody, but he'll know him by the time he's done talking. And sometimes I have to wait.
Maybe
And that's the frustrating part.
I don't know their name though.
No. But it is a gift. Yes, it is.
For sure.
Really?
It is.
You're very social, Dad.
Oh, gosh.
This COVID thing has been not easy for him because he likes to be with people. Good communication.
It's a give and take deal, and you're especially going to be on a different time zone when you think about where her background is in Poland, and she has different thoughts about what the country means, and which maybe is a good thing. She probably thinks more about it and knows more about it than what we do. Been living here our whole lives, but
Different perspectives, though,
yeah.
That's good.
Now I look back and I think we probably should have traveled more in the last 20 years, 15 years. But we've done a little, we've been to Charleston many times and California quite a bit. And
I think I'm too much of a homebody. I like to be home. So I don't wish, I wish we'd have gone here, I wish we'd have done that.
it's one thing my mom, when they went to Arizona several winters and Texas, and that's one thing I couldn't believe that she would do that because all her grandkids are around, and they go away for 3 months, and what you would miss out, but we'd send them the bulletins and clippings out of the newspapers when you girls were in high school and stuff like that. But
One thing I always thought about you, Darlene, if it had been another time, like you're just so smart and you picked up on the medical stuff, health stuff so easily. I think you would have been a nurse or a doctor or something. I think you would have been.
I don't think that, but when I started working there, I was told I was gonna file a couple of days a week. And I was there 2 days, and the gal says to me, "How would you like to take a medical transcription course?" And I said, "What?" But then it just turned out that somebody else had just started too, and we went together, and it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever did.
It's really good for your
I learned.
self-confidence, I think.
Yeah, I think it did help that, yeah. And I learned a lot.
I had to think about it. Start with a 49 Plymouth and a 55 Ford and a 57 Chevy, 63 Corvair, 67 Buick Wildcat, and then we had a 69 Buick 225, and then a 71 Buick 225. And we had a 78 Chevy station wagon. And then after that was, I don't remember after that 78 station wagon. Then we had a couple of Buick Centuries and a Cadillac, 92 Cadillac. Then a newer Cadillac after that, and then a Chrysler Caravan, and then a Buick van, and then we went to the Chevy that we got now. A whole bunch of them.
Any of
But-
those, were any of those new?
Yeah, Corvair was.
Yeah, Corvair was
The
new,
only new vehicle.
What year
Yeah.
was that?
That was a,
63. They only made them a
Around four.
few years.
So what was your favorite car?
that car was fun.
Yeah, it was a
It
little,
was a stick shift.
little 4-speed on the floor, and it was a nice, solid. It was a solid car. And the first time I drove it on snow, I thought, oh my gosh, front end has got to be light because the motor's back here.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It was, well, it handled really nice on snow. And,
Does Herm have one of those here still? No.
no, that's Pontiac Fiero is what he's got. He only got 3 of those. One of them is here and 2 of them in Orange City. Wish he'd have kept the 57 Chevy, but
Oh,
hmm.
Yeah, I
Your
remember.
dad and my mom are both in Sioux City.
Yeah, I
They
remember.
passed away.
I remember my dad. After he passed away, then I remember walking out of the room and Marilyn Jordan's daughter, Deb Brooke, she is now, was a nurse there, and I just can still see her face walking. And as I got in the elevator, she was coming out of it. She gave me a hug, and I remember that. And Mom, I was working at the hospital, and I got a call from, I don't know if it was Karen or if it was a nurse. I think it was a family member that she wasn't doing well, and I said, well, should I come? No, it wasn't that bad. And so I asked, then I told the people I was working with, and they said, well, you should go. So I went, and I got there, and she was gone.
Oh, wow.
So I never. And so as far as she was concerned, she hadn't said my name for a long, long time. But every time I walked in the room, she would smile, and I know she knew I was her daughter, but she never said my name.
Yeah.
But they let me in, but she was gone already. So. And your mom, I remember getting a phone call.
Yeah, Marty and Dad stayed with her that night. We got a call early, 5 o'clock in the morning, that she was gone.
Yeah.
And then Dad passed away. It was in the middle of a blizzard, and he was in the nursing home in Sioux Center there. And you and Lana were both staying by Marty and Herb because you couldn't get home.
No.
So you went back there the next morning. But
When was that? What month?
Dad passed away in January.
Yeah, that's right.
Mary Lynn passed away like December 20 in 96. And then Grandpa passed away in January 10 in 97.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anything else you can think of, Lauren? You survived that.
Bye now.
That was fun.
Yeah.